Okay, good evening, kids. Dr. Freedom here with you, and I just wanted to share some quick thoughts on the fate of the television show Constantine. Now, Constantine for me has been a very enjoyable show, but the problem was, the thing is, I never read the comics, so I was able to walk into it with a fairly clean, register, other than the Keanu Reeves movie, which, according to a lot of the guys who I do know to talk about comics, did not like very well. But the show Constantine, it was really, starting to come into its own. Matter of fact, the last episode aired last night, and unfortunately, after its run of 13 episodes, it has not been picked up for reorder, nor has been picked up for next season. This means they might as well just come out and announce that the show has been canceled. Now, there have been talks that the show could be picked up on Sci-Fi, but it'll be renamed Hellblazer. But also remember, this is an era where TV shows no longer just necessarily die. Remember when the BBC canceled Ripper Street and it was immediately picked up by Amazon Prime? And by the way, I've watched Series 3 of Ripper Street and I think it was excellently done. It was the same cast and crew, nothing had changed, and it was just still as incredible as it was when it was on BBC One, or was it BBC Three? Either way, it was one of those BBC channels. You know what I'm talking about. But sadly, its ratings were, not really that good. But a lot of people have been accusing the Friday night time slot of this. The problem is you can't necessarily justify that. You have Grimm on at this, on that same night, and Grimm has been doing fairly well. If I remember correctly, it's in season 4. And I should know this because I've been watching the show. I really enjoy Grimm. But the problem is this, and I think this is could be at the heart of why this show is going to get tossed to the wayside prematurely. The timing was bad. And I don't mean by the scheduling, I mean by the fact that on the air right now you have Grimm, same channel, Supernatural, and Supernatural is going on its 11th year next year. Not to mention you've got all these other supernatural shows and whatnot. And I think what it is maybe there's been an oversaturation in that particular market, and that's why this is going to happen to Constantine, even though it is different from Supernatural and the others. At the same time, a lot of the same things have been getting reused in there, such as Supernatural had the war between heaven and hell and whatnot, and of course now you've got angels running about in Constantine, and of course it is basically coming down to a war between good and evil, aka heaven and hell, same thing. I even saw a scene where Constantine was blocking out demons by pouring salt, and the Winchester brothers have been doing that for over a decade now. And I think what it is people are saying, okay, it's another one of them shows. And maybe they just didn't give it a chance. And maybe that's why it's going to fall by the wayside. But once again, do not lose hope, folks. This is a whole new ball game here in 2015. Who knows? Maybe the Sci-Fi Channel will pick it up. But the problem is, I don't have a lot of faith in a lot of Sci-Fi Channel's programming. The budget tends to be lower and lower and lower. I'm talking lower than a mice's hind end in a canyon. Okay? And that's what I'm afraid of. If it does move to Sci-Fi and it does get renamed Hellblazer, is it even going to build on the current storyline that was established in the show that we saw, every Friday night on this particular channel under the name Constantine? Is it even going to be the same show? Is it going to have the same cast? Is it even going to have the same crew, directors, writers? And that's very important stuff there. So once again, I don't want to kill your hopes, but at the same time, don't, I want you to have some hope for it. Maybe it'll get picked up. But if that's true and it gets picked up by Sci-Fi Channel, be ready for what could be disappointment. As much as I'd like to blow some smoke up your ass and tell you that unicorns and fairy farts are going to come dancing out of the mythical realities and make this show the exact same thing it was if it does get picked up on Sci-Fi Network, I have to deal you the reality that Sci-Fi has a bad history with TV shows. So, come on. We're talking about they canceled Farscape. Let me say this again. Sci-Fi is a network that canceled Farscape. and replaced it with Tremors, the series. Yes, Tremors, the series. Oh, yeah, that was an action-packed thing. Oh, and let's add this other one, Scare Tactics. You know, that over the top, let's do another candid camera type thing, but with special effects and whatnot. And then we'll do something really smart. We'll hire Shannon Doherty to host. Shannon Doherty? That was the kiss of death right there. And then later they re-edited the episodes with another host in her place. Oh, but well. So, yes, Constantine could be picked up by Sci-Fi. They said if it does, it'll be renamed Hellblazer. But please, it could suck. And like I said, and as they quoted in Dead Pet Cemetery, sometimes death is better. Okay, well, that's just my quick thoughts and opinions on this whole thing going around with Constantine. Okay, take care. See y'all on the flip side.